Hey guys, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Today we're going to be doing product photography at home and we're going to be using a smartphone. In my case, I'm going to be using the iPhone 14 Pro. So we're going to do some product photography at home. I got some tips, tricks, and ways to make it a little easier for you to get better results. So if that's what you're into, let's go into the studio. Welcome to the studio. Now, the first thing we need to look at is the product we're shooting. Say it's a product like this, which is a shampoo, we need to look at the company, their branding, their message, their meaning, their color scheming. You can see on the product, we got the coloring going on here. This is a rosemary-based shampoo, so we might want to add some rosemary, part of the ingredient, when we're shooting the product. Today though, we're going to be using this product here, which is Kenneth Cole's Signature Men's Cologne. It's described as woodsy, warm, and spicy. So we need to try and incorporate that when we're doing the product shoot. Now, the first thing you need to do after you well, I shouldn't say the first thing. The next thing you need to do is you need to clean the product insanely well. White gloves, especially on glass. Get rid of fingerprints, smudges, dirt, lint, all that stuff. So whatever product you're using, clean it insanely well. Why am I saying that? Because once you've taken that photo, you take it into Photoshop and you go, oh my God, it is covered in fingerprints, lint, and dust. Take the time to clean the product well. And with glass, wear white gloves or clean gloves so you don't leave any lint or particles. Will save you a ton in post. Just a little tip there for you. Now we need to look at the equipment we need to actually do product photography at home. I'm going to be using the iPhone 14 Pro. You can use any smartphone, mirrorless, DSLR, whatever you got. Most of this will work for you, but this is more reference to a smartphone. Now, I'm going to be using Adobe Lightroom versus the in-camera app. But that is your choice. I'll put a link to a video I did on the Adobe Lightroom so you can have a look at that program in detail to see how it works and what it can do. So that's the basic equipment. You need a phone. Now, another thing that we should have is a tripod. Here I've got a little small one here. So you can go with a little tabletop version. You can go with a full-size one. I would probably recommend going with a full-size one. I can't really do that right now because I've got gear stashed on it. So I had to show you a little one. But big tripod will be your best friend. The other thing is that you're going to need to mount your phone on is a bracket like this. Now this one will also rotate between landscape and portrait mode, which is very handy to have. This bracket's made by Neewer, shown it multiple times in multiple videos in the past. Put this on your tripod, clamp this down onto your phone, you're good to go. It holds your phone steady. Now, why am I saying use a tripod and a clamp to hold all this down? Because now you got two hands free. Otherwise, you always have one hand kind of on the phone. And the other thing is, when you're trying to get your focus and everything else, you're doing this with your phone, your focus point's changing. Especially once you get into the Adobe Lightroom, you can select where your focus falls, which is extremely helpful. Also, you can be using two hands. You can see what's going on. So when you're doing your propping and you're doing your composition layout, you can see what works, what doesn't work, because it's live viewing it for you. Now, we're trying to portray that wood, warmth, spicy, so we need to figure out how to do that. My background I've gone here with is just some styrofoam with some wallpaper on that I had painted. I've used it for multiple shoots. It works great and it has a great rough texture to it. But you can use tons of stuff from different backgrounds. Check out this cloth that I used to do the rings. Check out this necklace. Again, on a different piece of fabric. Could even be a skirt, shirt, scrap fabric, doesn't matter. Think outside the box. How about shooting on white? Check these roller skates out. I left a bit of a shadow reflection to the skates, or like in this nail polish one, simply totally cut out, isolated on white to help sell the product. So when you're thinking of your backgrounds, there's a wide variety and assortment. You just need big and small, depending on the size of the product that you're shooting. So with our background now done, we need some propping. Here I've got a piece of wood because it's a woodsy smell, which will help sell the product. It also gives some height to the image. Check out this here that I did with some lotions, and they're all on different wooden boxes. That helps create more of a dramatic image and help sell the product. So here I've just gone with this little bit of a woodsy one. Yes, I know I should be wearing gloves for this, but there we go. Our product is on stage. I was lucky enough that this piece of wood actually has a level spot there to be able to put the product. Now we need to think of other things that can help support this. Could we put maybe a tree branch in here to help create that woodsy, vibey scent? It's hard to say. We have to play with props to figure out what works, what doesn't. How about some leaves? I've got some real leaves here that I could spread down and around, and I'm liking that bit already. But how about we give it a bit of a color pop, because we want a bit of a warmth, texture, and tone. So we can add in a bit of these fake leaves to help add a little bit of color into the set. Now these yellow ones are a little too bright in my opinion. We'll tone it down a bit. I think that looks pretty cool. So we're getting that woodsy, earthy type tone. We've got the texture from the wood, from the base, everything else going on. We need to add some warmth. So how about we come down in here and we can even add a candle down in here, and I think it would actually look a little better on that side. Now what about spice? Well, I got some cinnamon sticks here. So what happens is I include a couple of cinnamon sticks up in beside here, kind of cross them over a bit to create that sense of spice, warmth, woodsy. How's that looking to you guys? I think it's looking pretty good so far. Now, you don't want to overprop it. If I start throwing in all kinds of other stuff, you will start losing the product. You want to keep the focus on the product. So you want to keep your product as simple as you possibly can. This is really quick, down and dirty. I think that's looking pretty good already. Now, for my lighting, it's hard to see because I'm lighting the set. So you can't really see the true lighting that's going to fall on this. I have a light over there, and it's an LED constant light, and it's shot through a 40-inch diffuser. Now, using your smartphone, you need to use a constant light. If you have daylight and it's bright sunshine coming through the window, put a sheer across to help diffuse it out. It'll work great. Now for this case, as I say, I've got a 40-inch diffuser with an LED there shooting light that way. To get some glow through the back of this bottle, I've made a little cutout here, as you can see, and I just used a makeup wedge that I glued onto the back. If I take it in behind, and this one's not quite shaped right, I need to reshape it a bit better, but if I put it in behind, I can get a bit of a glow from the light over there. Again, this becomes hard to see because of the lighting that I've got going on, coming in this way, coming in from behind me this way, and lighting in from there. You're not getting that full impact. But by putting this in behind, and I will put a link to a video I did below to shooting drinks and stuff, where I'm showing this and you get the fine detail of how it actually works. It was a bottle of whiskey that I had done, and you can see the impact it had on that. So check out that, and it'll show you how to get a better light and better glow through glassware like this. But this is basically the effect that I'm going to go with. This is a basic setup. That's it. That's all there is to doing product photography at home. You need a continual light source, being it daylight or being an LED. I will put links down below to some of the LEDs that I'm using here. There are tons available on the market nowadays, but try and soften them out. You can also use things like, let me get this piece of foam core here, piece of white foam core to bounce light back into the scene. I do that lots. Here's a piece of black foam core. If I put the black foam core in, it will add a black cast to the side of the glass, and it'll reduce some of the lighting on that side. So white for adding some light, black for a negative fill. You can chop and change as you need. But that's the basics for that shoot. As I say, have your camera, cell phone on a tripod so you can move things and look at it while you're doing it. But that's it. Check out the finished image. I think it turned out pretty good. That's it for this one. If you have any question or comment, please leave it down below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell notification so everywhere when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. So, until the next time.